think we hit a dead end.
Sonic games are often met with split reactions, with detractors and defenders alike. Yet it's hard to imagine just who would vouch for Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric, as it's hard to even consider the final game a finished product.
What's the matter, Sonic? Can't keep up?
To set the stage, Sonic and pals are sidetracked from their usual confrontations with Eggman when they stumble across an ancient serpentine villain known as Lyric, accidentally unleashing him upon the modern world. In order to stop him, they have to find a series of crystals that Lyric needs to power his robot army.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing.
The formulaic plot would be easy to glaze over if it weren't a groan-worthy attempt at self-parody. Once in a while, a joke is worth a chuckle, but the characters seem to know how bad the game is, poking fun at their own stereotypes and commenting on the repetitive gameplay with disdain.
Okay, this is getting old.
Plus, the experience is frequently jarring as cinemas and gameplay essentially interrupt each other with abrupt, disjointed transitions.
What's happening?
That's just the beginning of Sonic Boom's problems, however. The game suffers from a low frame rate paired with a poor camera, which can make even basic platforming troublesome, while a short draw distance has you constantly seeing objects appear and disappear in the distance. In certain areas, the engine struggles even more, grinding the frame rate to a halt and causing your companions to erratically pop in and out behind you. This all comes to a head in Sonic's signature speed sections. The roller coaster-like roads are a muddled, choppy ride, and it's frustrating trying to react to hazards that you can barely identify.
I must get to my lair.
Wow, we need to get out of here.
These familiar corkscrews are just diversions connecting you to new levels. Playing Sonic Boom is more about typical platforming than speed, and it's focused on switching between defining abilities of each character to advance. Sonic can spin dash up ramps, Amy can triple jump and walk across narrow beams, Knuckles can climb walls and ceilings, while Tails can hover and send his buddy bots into mouse-sized passages. Levels are laid out with clear sections made for specific characters, but that doesn't stop them from constantly telling you what to do. Your crew will make sure to point out practically every switch and bounce pad you encounter, no matter how obvious it might be.
Look, ramps!
We can use these as ramps.
In addition to their individual abilities, each character also sports a new tool called an Enter Beam, which is used like a lasso to pull certain switches, grab enemies, and hook onto special grapple points. There are also rails serving as shortcuts or side routes, although hanging and swinging can be awkward at times.
Is this all Lyric has to offer?
Along the way, you'll fight plenty of Lyric's robotic minions, but combat is largely a matter of alternating regular and homing attacks without much thought. There is a dodge mechanic, and enemies do have tells, but between the clunky camera and character responsiveness, it's tough to react consistently. There's almost no chance you can land a charged blow without eating a hit, and in crowded situations, it can be hard to target the enemy you want. That said, you can mash your way through most regular groups, and only a handful of bosses manage to be really frustrating. Connecting the more straightforward levels is a pair of more open hubs where you can explore, pick up a few side quests, and use collected robot parts to build structures and get upgrades. Using the crystal from one level unlocks the door to the next, so there's not much freedom, but it's here that the infamous Knuckles exploit comes in. If you time it just right, pausing and unpausing the game while repeating Knuckles' special attack allows you to gain infinite height, thereby scaling the big gates and skipping huge chunks of the game. It's tedious and relatively pointless, but with patience, it can be done.
Ah, a road.
Other oversights include some rather nasty audio bugs. Plus, the sleepy music doesn't fit a Sonic game, deflating dramatic moments and diminishing combat. What's strange, though, is that there are times when you can see through the flaws into a more interesting game that could have been. Diversions such as hydro dashing and shooting galleries offer some cool scenarios, but fall flat with clumsy execution. There's a fair amount of variety in locations, and even though textures aren't very detailed, there's pleasing art direction in some of the later areas. The second hub zone has a sizable, intriguing town, but without citizens to walk the streets, it's left feeling eerie and lifeless. While you can play through Rise of Lyric on your own in about 8 to 10 hours, it does support co-op play as well, if you want to drag someone else into this. One person plays on the TV while the other takes the gamepad, giving both a clear view. Playing together lets you divide and conquer, taking different paths based on the characters you're using. Unfortunately, playing co-op only strains the troubled engine further, and in some places, it can create confusing tug-of-wars between both players. For all its issues, the main campaign is at least tolerable, but for some reason, Sega decided to go the extra mile and include a set of awful 4-player minigames. These include a group of arena battles, platforming stages that scroll automatically, and a sports-like game of rolling crystals into goals. Each and every one of them is so broken and unenjoyable that it's hard to imagine getting a group of friends to last through even a single match.
Wrong goal, player one.
Overall, even if the engine ran smoothly and the bugs were squashed, Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric wouldn't be that great of a game. As is, it's an unfinished mess, astounding only in how rapidly you can count its flaws.
It's over? Oh, it's over! Whatever that was, I never want to go through it again.